Hi, our group is focusing on divisional organization. My name's Dan Warwood from Houston, Texas, and I'm in my last semester of school.
I'm Brandon Grimshaw. I'm from Oceanside, California. It's by San Diego. And I'm in my 8th semester of school.
I'm Tori Fife. I'm from Blackfoot, Idaho, and this is also my last semester of school.
And I am Austin Kelly, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and what are the odds? This is my last semester of school. So, what is divisional organization? According to one source, the divisional organization structure organizes the activities of a business around geographical, market, or produce and service groups. In other words, divisional organization is a way of breaking a company into smaller divisions based on the needs of the company. Take, for example, a large cell phone company like Apple or Android. A cell phone has two parts, the hardware and the software. Although both parts are needed to make the cell phone work, if the cell phone company wanted to implement the divisional organization structure, they could simply divide the company into two different divisions, one for the hardware and one for the software. These divisions would be autonomous, meaning that each division would manage its own hiring, budgeting, and advertising. It is almost like there are two or more separable sub-companies within the company itself. Each division is led by its own top executive, often a vice president, under the direction of the CEO of the main company. It is rare that smaller companies will utilize the organization structure. This is largely due to the fact that there needs to be enough employees within the division in order to run the division like its own company.
Next, we have our advantages. So the first one, foremost being, this allows a team to focus on a single product or service within an organization that has multiple products or services. This really hones in the ability to give very direct, specific focus on a single project or product. Second, it allows leadership to focus and obtain resources for their specific team or project. Whereas outside of divisional organization, we have leaders that are trying to obtain resources just for the company in general. When we have specific teams or projects with leadership assigned to each individual one, those leaders can make sure that their individual projects have the resources that they need to obtain their goals. Next, it allows companies to have a wide array of products or projects that are not necessarily related to each other. For example, if a company initially has a shoe product but then wants to move on to software, they can maintain both inside their company through divisional organization. Next, it allows a company to create a culture on a divisional level focused around that specific project. So rather than having one wide brief, generic culture, it allows each team to have their own specific focus and culture around their individual project. And then finally, it allows companies to adapt projects faster without having to change on an organizational level or company level. This allows smaller teams to adapt and change individually without having any other impact.
There are a number of different ways that divisional organization can be implemented, and therefore there are different disadvantages with those implementations. Across the board, using divisional organization will increase the accounting needed within the company. The accounting, because of the different divisions in the company, they will need to separate the accounting and therefore will take longer. And you'll see more about that with the other disadvantages I explained. Another disadvantage is going to be the cost for managing the company. That is going to increase because by dividing the company, there will likely be more employees, more leaders or corporate members that need to be paid. And it'll also take a little more time to implement the different divisions and have them work together. And so therefore you're paying employees more work time. Another disadvantage are the possible inefficiencies that come with it. This can include communication inefficiencies, or time waiting for another division to finish working, or playing catch up with your division to try and catch up to another division. By separating the divisions, it will automatically slow down the process of a function that needs to pass through multiple divisions. That's not to be confused with a function that stays within a division, because they're supposed to specialize in that function. But if there's something that needs to pass, like products or something that's going through, then it can be difficult to communicate it. Along with inefficiencies between divisions, we can look at possible rivalries or other bad feelings where divisions don't enjoy or necessarily want to work together. A good example of a rivalry between divisions can be seen on crime or cop or TV shows, where the two departments of police, like FBI and Homeland, or the local police and the FBI, they're always bickering and they don't want to share evidence. That's two divisions that are supposed to specialize and do well in their division, but they're terrible at working together, which is kind of ironic. Lastly, another disadvantage of divisional organization can be the separated focus. Each department may have their own focus or strategy in place with how to attack a problem or just a strategic plan. And if another division has a different one, then they can clash or they can not be aligned, and it can be difficult to work together.
This strategy is usually used for large companies in which the company is geographically large or has several different products. An example of this might be a company that has customers all over the world might have a different division for their United States customers versus their European customers. Another example might be, I believe the Dollar Tree and Family Dollar stores are owned by the same company, but they probably use something like a divisional organization so that all of the Dollar Tree issues and hiring is done in one division while all of the Family Dollar things are done in the other division. I don't know if they do use that, but they could. The divisional organization can also be used in smaller companies, although this is much less common in certain circumstances. So an example that is given in source 2 would be a marketing firm that has a few large profile clients, and so they have individual employees who are dedicated and focused on one certain client. This company might decide to use a divisional organization.
Thank you for listening.